Stupid Joe here, and it's Saturday, January the 28th. It's about 11 o'clock here in Badajoz, Spain. And we are at the 6th Bellota for our morning walk. We may have a couple of designer interviews, and I have my voice a little bit worn up from yesterday, all the talking. We're having a great time here, and a lot of people. I think a lot of spaces are very few empty spaces. Well, you can see in front some empty spaces, but a lot of people today. So here we have Magnus. Welcome, Magnus, from Sweden. And we will be pretty soon walking. Let me give you like a panoramic view there. At the left, you see the NAC. The MAC portion, you see there, let me see if you can see over there at the left, that's where they sell their games. Let's do a zoom here. Okay, so you can see, for example, there what it says, Madrid 36, and to the left is where they sell their games, and they have their tables there. And we have Arnaldo Santos. Buen día. Good day, buenos días, Arnaldo. Okay. And so that's all NAC there. Then you see, I think, Do It Games. No, Bellota 3rd Generation, Do It Games. And in the middle areas, you see people playing just whatever games they want to play. And you have here in the foreground, you have the area where you have the exhibition about the great battles of history by Andres. And I wonder what uniform Andres is going to be wearing today. He always wears, you see Andres there explaining, he has a black uniform. I think he's dressed as a Prussian today, so we'll see that. Have a chance to talk to Andres. We have more people in the middle playing games. Andres brought these huge maps, which I've been showing around. This one in the foreground is When Eagles Dare. It's Market Garden. There you see 30 core, where they start. I always like showing it because it's really impressive. And I think Eindhoven is right there in the middle. And keeps on going to Nijmegen, which is right there in the middle. And then, of course, we have the prize Arnhem, which is over here. So that's just a huge map. I'll give you another view of the map there, where Eagles Dare. That's where Eagles Dare by MMP. That's the one that you see, the huge one there. And it's got more maps, and there a lot of them are MMP maps that you see there. And you see here to the right, we have Dracuideas. They are here. That's the Dracuideas booth. And zoom in. And good morning, E4 Airman. How you doing? Nice to see you. Great to see you. And we keep on rotating here, Dracuideas. Then you have Trafalgar Editions is there in the middle. That back table there. We're going to see what they're playing. I think you have... And then you have Buca Simulations. And Philippe Thibault, which is also down there between Buca and Headquarter Games. So we'll be walking the tables around and conducting some interviews also. So we have also Jay Field hasn't missed a single one. Excited to follow you again. I don't know about that. Yes, there's not a lot of females. It's still a very male hobby. There were a couple of females playing games, but not the exception rather than the norm. It is what it is. So let's pick up the camera and let's start walking the tables, and I'm gonna start walking. So let's go. Oh, just to let you know, the cafeteria, this is the menu that you see here. They have the menu here. A lot of ham, cheese, there's meat, snacks, and this is the area of the cafeteria where we come very frequently here. So it's a very nice facility. Right next to the venue, so you don't have to go out of Ifeba and venture to the cold weather. You have meals right here. So let's take a look at what's happening. Yesterday we interviewed Luis Hernandez, who is the chief here of Draco Ideas, and he showed us his own design, which is Onus, which is coming up. It's a game that uses cards to simulate ancient warfare. Roman history, you have Onus Pack, which goes up to 100 before Christ, and Onus Triana starts in 100 AD. And there's a fortress expansion. You can add fortress. So we went through that. He also showed us this game, which is Scope U-Boot, which is the second of the Scope series. So here we see. Let's go to people here. Ajá. Aquí estamos. ¿Cómo están ustedes? They're playing Salahadin. Great. This is by Shakos, right? Y Draco Ideas también. Okay, Dracos has it. Okay, that's their series of, they're going to do more games in the series. Yep. So it's Saladin, yes. I did a video on the game. It's a very interesting system there to recreate the battles with these blocks. Denis Sauvage.
He has two of the games signed on the Batalla with Chacos. The next one should be William Wallace.
Okay.
With two panels, one won, one lost.
Okay.
Exactly the same as this one. And hopefully the third one, if it is published, is going to be Francisco Primero in French, I don't know the name, which is a French king.
Okay,
and
French
the second
king.
battle, yes, the Spaniards are pretty important. The battle that lost Francisco Primero, it was Pavia.
Oh, Pavia, okay. So you go. So there's more battles in the series coming up.
That's it. More historical leaders.
Okay.
And the best thing about this series is this: can you find another war game like for fathers and teachers?
Okay. Oh, it's good to teach. Yes.
Addressing to them how to get children or youngsters involved into history and wargaming together.
Okay, that's cool.
So that's a very nice idea from this individual.
Denis Sauvage, yes.
Quite nice guy, very accessible through BGG.
Okay, oh, that's great. I know he has other designs too he has those games for the Waterloo and the Polish campaign of Napoleon, also for Shakos, right? He's got us, it's very prolific, yes. It's good to see. Okay, thank you. We have here, this game's going on, Fury at Midway.
Seguimos jugando estos combates. Y decir en qué puntos salen dos operaciones aéreas nuevas, ¿vale? Mover a dos. ¿Y qué atacado? Eso lo deja apuntado. Entonces los japoneses se le ve el movimiento, pero el americano...
You see the American player? And let's take a peek at what he has behind the screen. We won't say here, but you can see what he has there. You see that there's a picture of Midway Island, of course. This is Midway. Midway had their own air forces, or forces there in the air. And we have Rolf, Happy Wanderer from Australia. Nice to see you, Rolf. And I saw that you like the format. When interviewing a designer, we have him in a little circle. We're gonna We're gonna do that whenever we have interviews. We're gonna follow that. I liked it very much also, and I appreciate your input on that and your feedback. So now, I'm gonna take a look at what the Japanese have a lot of stuff. ¿Cómo está Luis? Saludos. Let's take a closer look. See the aircraft carriers there. Well, the Hiryu is gone, is history. My favorite is the Akagi, personally. It's kind of similar to the Kaga, but not the same. They're all different because the Japanese carriers were converted to carriers, so they were pretty odd ships, but interesting, you know. 4 carriers against the 3 American carriers and the Midway. Midway is always such an interesting battle, but as you can see with this game, you can't solo the game. It's you need to have the concealed information so the fleets can find the other guy's fleet, send your planes, and hopefully they will get there in time. I'm glad, yes. Thank you, Rolf. I like the format, and I'm going to keep on with that format. I enjoyed it a lot. So this is Draco-Ideas with these games. They're playing these games here at this table, having a great time. And Drac also has this one here that you see, which is Tetrarchia, designed by Miguel Marquez, also very well received. And here they're playing 300, which has also been a well received game. People have fun with these games. So it doesn't have to be a big game to be fun. It just has to be fun, a fun game, an interesting game. And there you see Tetrarchia. Look at the map, the pieces. It's the Roman Empire attacked by barbarians and the factions breaking up. And here you have, of course, the Greeks going against the Persians there. ¿Estos griegos y persas?
Sí, griegos y persas.
Okay. 300, yes. A mí me gustan estos jueguitos pequeños, a mí me encantan. Sí. Y los puedo jugar en cualquier sitio. Y te le gana siempre. His father beats him all the time. Muy bien. Sigan ahí, que siga la batalla. Okay. And here we have, and my shoestring got undone. I have to tie my shoestring. So while I do that, let me these shoes. Okay. We have here Miguel. Wait, let me get here. Miguel, gracias. Es como si estuviéramos allí. That's the whole idea. Esa es la idea. Y gracias por su patrocinio y respaldo, Miguel. Really appreciate it. And here you see Mauro Faina is also, he's from Italy. He's a YouTuber from Italy. He's also doing his videos. So he's filming around and for his Italian viewers. And here we are at Trafalgar Editions. They're playing, this is their series, which is uses miniature rules. This one is we saw for Waterloo, which their 3rd edition ran out. Now, what you saw that I showed you yesterday, these are with the resin minis. This is the optional. They look beautiful, really. And they're going to come up with their 4th edition. So they're coming with their 4th edition. But here you have, they're playing the Austerlitz game here. They're also using the resin minis. So there. So it's basically, it's wargame components, but with minis rules. So, and of course, you don't have to spend time painting if you want. You just play with the rules. So I think let's take a closer look at the Pratzen Heights there. Let me see if I can zoom in. Here we see what's going on, and they're rolling. The French are attacking the Pratzen Heights. They're getting fired upon, I suppose. So that is Austerlitz. Okay, let's see what they're playing over here. This is Assault on Madrid. Area impulse game about the assault. The city of Madrid, I think, is 1936. This is Franco's attempt to storm the city and end the war, the civil war in the first year, of course. And it failed. That's where you have the famous No Pasarán. Madrid. This is a game originally published by Battles magazine, but now Headquarter Games published it. I think they improved the quality of the graphics. I was one of those who ordered, so when I get back to Puerto Rico, I probably have my, how do you say, my copy waiting for me. So that's Assault on Madrid. I'll keep on going. Let's see what they're playing here. Here we have more Headquarter Games. This is N. Napoleon. So this is a game designed by R. Ben Madison, which Headquarter Games has published in Spanish. I did videos on this game with White Dog Games. Really interesting game by Ben Madison, where you play basically the coalition and the AI is playing the French. Oh, here we have Miguel. Hope you can teach me something about, yes, I hope I can do an interview with Pedro Iñaki Martinez, who's the designer of Asturias 3637, because that's one of the games that I have my eye on, which is very interesting. Very interesting take of the Civil War in the north with all that mountainous terrain, and you have very unique units like those Asturian miners, and you're from Asturias, so you must know about it. And we also have Storm Series games. Yes, that is a Storm Series games. When you see those large defense factors, it's definitely one of those games. So this is got N Napoleonic Wars being played. Let's continue. Okay, you're welcome here. You have Nuts Publishing their Saigon game. This is one that I mean, I don't know if it's I think it's a Kickstarter. I'm signed up for this one. Uses cubes. And you see there, you see here the game looks, I don't know if they finished the game. You see Florent, which is the boss at Nuts Publishing, talking to Wargamers. This is Saigon, so. So here we have Nineveh, which is a game that I covered last year, which is basically, I think it's ready to go. Block game about the insurgency in Mosul. The Daesh, I think Daesh is what you call them. This looks very interesting. So, and here you see Scott Moores. Scott Moores is the designer of This War Without, what's the name? This War Without an Enemy. So he's helping out with the Nuts Publishing games. There's one here that Scott told me about, which is The Rise of Blitzkrieg. This is an upcoming game about the 1940 campaign. It's a point-to-point map with cubes. Has some cards, like you see there. So this looks also interesting. Small game, so you can take it anywhere. So it's looking forward to learn more about this game also. And of course, this one caught my eye from Nuts Publishing, which is the Port Arthur game, another small game, where you have the Russian fleet divided. You have in Port Arthur, Vladivostok, and then they come from some other place. And then the Japanese, of course, have to defeat them in detail before they can mass together and affect the course of the land war there. So that looks also very interesting. So that is from Nuts Publishing. We have there Niels Johansson and Ivan Cáceres talking. So these two guys like almost corner the game designer graphic market. In many games they're just amazing, both of them. And this one I walked yesterday. It looks like a prototype. Don't know what the name is. And so you see, for example, South Africa there. Paraná. It looks like a modern type of game where you see the world divided into zones: Central America, the Caribbean, Mexican Gulf, Northern America. So I really don't have even a name for the game. One player is the People's Republic of China, other is the Russian Federation. So this is a modern game, some sort of, I don't know if it's a political, doesn't look like a military conflict. That's curious to see. And here we go to VUCA. VUCA, they're playing the Chase for the Bismarck, designed by Patrick Gebhardt and Jack Lee. Also, it's a game where you hide your information behind a screen. It's a two-player game, trying to find the Bismarck and sink it. I guess there's other scenarios too. See an explanation being given here. Hey, saludo. Here we let's see what's behind the screen. Okay, that's the map there. You see the British Isles, Iceland, you see Norway, coast of France, coast of Spain, and ocean, the Azores. Have a track there. Fuel track. Okay, keep track of your fuel. Looks interesting, indeed. Then you have a lot of screens, and the screens have information, of course, which is useful there. Shadow table, repair at sea table, all kinds of tables, submarine contact table, right in front of you, so you don't have to be lifting anything. It's very accessible. That's Chase of the Bismarck. This is the VUCA area, so let's keep on moving. This one we saw yesterday, but haven't seen anybody play it. Traces of War. This is the by Tetsuya Nakamura, coming up by VUCA. I think it's the Russian offensive in Ukraine, 1943. Keep on going, we see other games here. This is Conflict of Heroes over here. And then we see more games here. Oh, this is Imperial Struggle. It's a game of Imperial Struggle. And of course, Commands and Colors Napoleonics being played here. And here we see the successors again. Very popular in wargaming conventions. And this is Hannibal, which is a classic. And have a Cier Rojo. And you look, And Asier is worried. I don't think. ¿Qué tú eres, el cartaginés?
He has like 21 legions in Rome. So, and I only have 10 here with Hannibal.
Yeah, that's. I saw you worried, and I said, "Oh, it's not going well."
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
Italy is he's inside the walls.
I don't want to fight.
There's a lot of Romans in Rome. They're not dry. Where's Hannibal?
Here.
Oh, okay. So Hannibal is having second thoughts. What the hell am I doing here with all these Romans? Okay.
Marcellus.
Yes. Marcellus is here.
Is the better.
He's the best
better commander.
Roman general before Scipio.
Ah, okay, so this is going to be bloody very soon, probably.
Yes.
So, okay, so let me get out of the way.
Okay.
Okay. Good luck, guys. Okay, take care. And we have Pain Cortez. Viva Hannibal. Yes, it's also a favorite at conventions. Hannibal. Here we have another game of successors. Is this? Here I stand. Here I stand. Okay, another. This is another convention favorite, multiplayer game. So, ¿cuántos jugadores tienes? ¿Cuatro? Seis. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You got full complement of 6 players. Wow. So that's Here I Stand. Being played here. Let's continue to see what games are being played. And this is great campaigns of the American Civil War. This one is Roads to Gettysburg is this one. And here we see ASL, of course. ASL, ¿verdad?
Sí, señor.
Ah, no puede faltar.
No puede faltar ni sobrar.
Un clásico, sí. ASL. And here we have. This is Volkan Mark Herman's game, Fire in the Lake coin game. And here on its way. Let's see what we have back here. Boy, this is an old Avalon Hill classic. This is Britannian. Well, Avalon Hill, yes. Saludo. Here we have another Here I Stand on its way. There's 6 players, I suppose. Another convention favorite of the multiplayer games. You always see a lot of Here I Stand or Virgin Queen. So let's see. So yes, Jay, you finally saw an ASL game. And good morning, Eugenio. So nice to have you here. So let's see, here is another Successors. I think there's 2 games of Successors being played, very popular game in conventions. We have Successors there. And we have over here, this is Musket and Pike, the new package by GMT, which brings like 20,000 battles. No, I'm just kidding. This is the English, well, I don't know, they're playing the English Civil War.
It's actually 30 years. 30 years war.
Ah, the 30 years war,
this
okay.
is Sweden against the Imperials.
Sweden in blue?
The Imperial.
And the Imperials in red, okay. And which battle is, oh, this is Breitenfeld.
That's right, second Breitenfeld.
Second Breitenfeld, okay, got it. Because this package brings a lot of battles. You got the English Civil War and the 30 Years' War, so it's a battle starting there, so. We have Farshad, it's nice to see you, good morning. Here, este juego tiene muchos colores, has a lot of color, this one. Successors War. Okay, I haven't seen this one. The Succession War. Okay, this is like space, en el espacio.
Strategic construction of the Battletech.
Oh, the Battletech world here. Okay, it's at the strategic level. Okay, good. Disfruten. Okay. And here we have Commands and Colors Napoleonics. Another convention favorite. Setting up the terrain, looks like. They're going to set up the game here. Ah, sí, this is, espérate, este yo lo he visto. Este es de compas. Okay, it's not this one that you see there. It's not fall blue. It is a pragmatic war. Card-driven game. You see the map there? And you're welcome. You just bought Onus. Great. And I'm glad that I helped with your decision, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so this is a pragmatic war there, and you have, they're setting up Commands and Colors. This looks like more great campaigns of American Civil War. This one is Atlanta is Ours. And you see the map is like an elongated map here. It's like two maps side by side on the short edge. Oh, you got España 20, Spain 20. And they're playing Bailen 20, which I did a video on. I did a video on Bailen. I like that one. Bailen. There you go. This is a version published by Dracuideas in Spanish. Originally, this was published by Victory Point Games. I love the 20 system. And here we have Napoleon by Columbia Games. This is the block game that we saw yesterday. And this is, of course, an enlarged version. And they have a battle going on. Let's see, let's get close into the battle there. They're setting up the Allies. I think the British are red. I don't know what the green is. I don't have this edition of the game. Now the French are going to set up, I suppose. And then they'll start rolling and resolving the battle. So that's how that works. Columbia Games specializes in block games. Here we have the third winter, but nobody's playing it. Let's see over here. That's some. And we continue here. This is Mediterranean Empires are playing the Eastern campaign here. ¿Está el mismo juego de ayer o este es otro?
No, el mismo, sí. Es el final.
Oh,
El último turno.
this is the last turn. Okay, ¿quién está ganando?
Está ganando Macedonio.
Ah, los amarillitos claritos. Ah, los.
Macedonios.
Oh, okay. The Macedonians are. Now they're going to gang up on the Macedonians. So they're playing their last turn of Mediterranean Empires. This is by Bellica third generation, the edition they're playing. This is one edition in Spanish. And here we see the Abyss of Lament, game designed by Serge Bettencourt. And here Serge is playing one of the scenarios here. And this one is
Yes, no. So let's do, right? Let's do
playing the game.
attrition possible. So attrition for you, and a plus 2 then.
So this is an upcoming game by Legion Wargames. It's going to be coming up soon in their queue where you can sign up. Oh, you like the interview, the Onus interview. Okay, well, anyone who wants to see it yesterday, the walk at night, we had an interview with Luis Hernandez from Dracuideas, and he talked about Onus. Y aquí está Rostov, Race to the Dawn. Esto es OCS. Esto es OCS, ¿qué sistema es este?
El sistema sí, el SOS.
Este es de gamers. You have MMP, okay, so you have Rostov there.
Standard Combat Series.
Oh, the Standard Combat Series. Esta es la que yo La que mi organismo tolera. Because no estás contando habichuelas así.
Barbarroja, 1940, invierno de 1940. Bueno, otoño-invierno de 1941.
So this is the autumn in the south,
En Ucrania.
in Ukraine, and you see the prize. ¿Dónde está Rostov?
El
Oh,
escenario
they're
del contraataque soviético
playing the counterattack by the
para
Soviets
retomar Rostov.
to take back Rostov. Let me see, the map is facing this way. ¿Dónde está Rostov?
Rostov está ahí ocupado
Okay, so
por
that is
los
Rostov.
alemanes.
That is the prize there. So that's the scenario they're playing.
En teoría, históricamente, el resultado final fue que el alemán se tuvo que retirar a la línea del río Mies.
Okay, historically the Germans withdrew
Vamos a ver
to save their
si
to
logra
save
el
the front.
soviético.
Okay, and they're gonna see if they can hold the city this time. Okay, pues que disfruten. Gracias. Okay. See what's here. This is task force, and this looks like Pearl Harbor here.
Beginning by the first day of the war.
Pero el de Pearl Harbor no es solitario, ¿no?
Sí, lo que pasa es que estamos aprendiendo a jugar, entonces vamos
Sí.
a darle primero la primera mecánica.
Okay. So they're learning to play, so they're going through the Pearl Harbor scenario, so it's like an introductory scenario. You have Ford Island there, and you have Battleship Row, all the ships lined up beautifully there for the Japanese, unfortunately.
You see that the names in Japanese are in kanji,
Ah, okay.
but the American ones are hitagana or kitagana, because the Japanese can't spell the American names
Oh, so
with
you-
kanji. So
Oh, so you got the
a little nice touch.
a nice touch, yes. Of course, this was designed by a Japanese designer, right? Okay. So it's part of Task Force that was recently published by VUCA Simulations. It's one of the scenarios. And I like the fact that you have a separate map for each scenario, which doesn't have to be super large. It's just as large as it needs to be. There's other maps which are mounted for other scenarios. And here we have New Guinea, Solomon Sea, New Britain, and it's very beautifully done. The graphic work of VUCA is outstanding. And then it's back printed, so you have here a combined fleet versus the Pacific Fleet. So this is like for surface actions.
What if? It's a what if.
Well, that battleship versus battleship or stuff like that, and cruisers fighting it out. Yes, so that's great. So it's a very impressive package indeed, with a lot of scenarios, a lot of
This
pieces.
is to manage the aircraft carriers.
Now
You
here we
have
see the
your
display
planes.
where you manage the carriers.
You have your planes in reserve, ready, in cap, landing from the map,
Okay.
making a right. And it's
Here's
your-
where you manage all that.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
nice. And
The task force formations.
You
for-
have
for
ICAF
carriers.
carrier here and the units escorting it,
okay.
and you have the combat fleets that are in row.
In battle line.
Battle line.
Okay, so you manage your carriers and also your surface ships also in the same display. You don't have to
Yes.
look somewhere else. And what I like also, I talked to Patrick Gebhardt about it, is that they're using a program instruction. So you read a portion of the rules and you can play a game.
Yes, you can. This is, for example, the tutorial player for Pearl Harbor,
Yes.
and this is what you need to read. You don't have to read any more than this.
Just
part.
read that and you're ready to play Pearl Harbor.
For
And you ju-
example, in the
Yeah.
next one, that is the sinking of the Prince of Wales and the Repulse,
Yes.
you have something more.
And you keep on building and you go.
The next one is Battle of the Java Sea for surface-to-surface action.
Yeah.
You need the.
You add those rules and you can play
The
it.
next one is hypothetical, fictional, that is carrier versus carrier.
Ah, okay, great.
And then you got Coral Sea, and you go on and on and on.
And you go in, it's a program instruction. That's the way squad leader used to be like that.
Used to be.
Used to be, and then came ASL, and then I said goodbye.
And that's the end.
So no, I'm glad it's a very beautiful game, and also cleverly they've used the program instruction. So have fun, guys. I hope you have a good time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Okay, yes, it has carrier battles and surface actions. It has both kinds of scenarios. Yes, the Ford Island map is beautiful. Okay, you're welcome, US Dreamhouse. My pleasure. So let me see here. Let's continue here. And here we go to the Do It Games section. This is a political game, which I may have a chance to interview the designer.
If it was just that outside track, you could do kind of pump fight.
It's called Statecraft. Looks like a 4-player game. You see the players have their screens. See their screens there? So there's some hidden information. See another screen there? See what it says. It says, can't pick it up. So we may be interviewing the designer. He has some time, because this looks like something different, which is interesting. We have also Do It Games has their Empire games laid out. They're always being played, and here you see Victor Català, and you see Hegemony being played here, and you have the designer explaining the game. We had an interview with Victor, so you can check it out. Hola, Victor. Saludo. And here you have Downfall of the Third Reich being played, and this is I've seen people playing this very intense, because each move is important. You can only do one action at a time, and the sequencing is important. You don't have enough points to do all the actions you want, of course, which makes the game so painfully interesting. And it can become very intense, and you can see very few pieces. And the rules, I think, are 12 pages, so it's very accessible. So you can concentrate on playing the game and not battling out the rules. Here you see David Gómez Reyoso's An Impossible War. This is one of the 2 games of the Carlist War. Saludo. Hola. This is one of the 2 games about the first Carlist War that are here at the Bellota Con. This is a block game that uses cards. And you see the Isabelinos in blue, and you see the Carlistas in red. And the Isabelinos, they're very aggressive. They're right into the territory there. So this is a game by David Gómez Reyoso. I'll be keeping an eye on this, because I'm a big fan of David and what he does. And we're here. This is Bellica 3rd Generation. And this is a game by Paco Ronco. Paco Ronco, you see him there. Saludos, ¿cómo estamos? Muy bien. You know Paco Ronco from von Manstein's Triumph. He has Bellica 3rd Generation. And this is a game about the Peninsular War, strategic block game of the Peninsular War. So you have the blue pieces, which obviously are the French. You have the white pieces, which must be the Spanish. And I see red pieces in Portugal. See if we can get some action here. See the trails, the spaces. There's some types of lines that are different from others, so I bet it must be primary and secondary lines. And yes, the green flags are to denote players that had reserved the table for play of the game. That's what the green flags mean. So this looks interesting. Peninsular War is a fascinating subject. It's during the Napoleonic Wars, the war between the Spanish and the French. You have the Portuguese. It's a whole world in itself. Tons of battles. And there's another Peninsular War game here by Quique Espárrago, who is the designer of what do you call it? I forgot. He's got a GMT game, and now he just went blank. He has his own Peninsular War game. That's Congress of Vienna is the name. Oh, ¿cómo estamos? So here,
with the voice a little bit down, but
my voice is shut, so but the camera works, so we keep on going. So here we see the collapse, 30 Years War being played, yes. And we have Daniel, who's the designer, right here with us.
And yesterday was with Adolf. We were just testing the graphic card.
Yes.
we are going to be most likely making the mounted board, but also for the smaller scenarios, we're going to make like a small sheet with like a zoom in of the region.
Okay,
because it's like for ergonomics, so you don't have to move all around just to pick it.
You just use the smaller map. That's always. I see that coming up in recently. People are doing. You get the main map, but for smaller scenarios, you get a smaller map, which is very convenient.
The scenario, you can come back to the campaign, so you just transfer the units.
Yes.
Simple, and we are just having show like the color blinded people are really able to play the game. So the game is done the mechanics. So now we're just in the process to start with the graphic.
Yes. Yes, this is obviously a prototype, and this is not the map that's going to be the final, but this is the
advanced prototype.
Yes, so you're going to come up with the new components, and so the game looks like it's on its way. And here we have 2 players fighting it out.
So diplomacy, so the gameplay itself, so if you're too aggressive, the battles are so bloody that you will not be able to continue in a second battle. So the game itself, auto-regulates.
Okay, so.
And you take control by the control of the region. So if you don't control a region, you don't get victory points. So you're not going to win.
Okay, so you got to control regions. It's the essence. And to control regions, you have to control certain spaces in a region, right?
If you don't use
some spaces are more valuable than others, I suppose.
Exactly. So you have some values. It also reflects the regions like Flanders, which is full, of 45 cities to reflect what was the field that the diplomacy. If you don't focus on diplomacy, you don't get the new units. You don't get prestige. So it's too much to do with very little things.
Okay. Yes, that's the challenge. Is use the resources to the best of your ability. Okay.
Thanks so much.
Well, thank you, Daniel. Looks good. Looks very good. Wish you the best. And here we have Asedio al Andaluz. A game designed by Miguel Candelas, and we have here 4 players. This has been described like a Game of Thrones, but at Andalusian style. This is the 11th century in Spain. We got 4 players there. Here we have Carlos Marquez and his game here, which is Imperial Fever. Fiebre Imperial. We have our man from Barcelona. ¿Cómo estamos?
Yo soy el aliado del Kaiser, soy el emperador austrohúngaro.
He's the Austro-Hungarian
Ahora hemos hecho una
emperor.
pausa para comer un poco de chucrús y cartofel.
Bueno, eso es importante por los supplies. Esos son los supplies.
Britannia rule the way.
Rule Britannia, you're the British guy. Yeah, you need a bodyguard here in Spain. Okay, so this is Imperial Fever. This is a 19th century.
Who are looking you. Saludos. Come to Spain. Come to the Bellota.
Okay.
Next year, please come to the Bellota. The best thing for wargamers. The best thing for everybody who likes war games.
Okay, there you have it.
I think that Joe can
I second everything that you say. That's right. It's true, Eduardo. And Eduardo from Los Abuelos. So you have been in the Bellota since it started. So you know how it's grown, and every time it gets better. So come to Badajoz. Reserve the time and come over here. This is
a very good game. Very nice game.
Yes. So you have the
I can switch to Spanish.
Yeah, I can switch to whatever you want. Here you have Africa represented, you have the major powers, also you have Asia.
Mira, si quieres una comparación,
sí.
El sistema de cartas que ha elegido Carlos Márquez, el diseñador, lo que funciona parecido al Time of Crisis.
Similar to Time of Crisis, the card system. O sea que tiene deck building.
Es un deck building.
Yes.
In deck building, and you choose the cards on your deck.
Okay.
Like Time of Crisis.
You choose the cards to form your hand.
En el tablero vamos a funcionar un poco como en el Pax Britannica.
Okay.
Pero sin la complicación que tenía Pax Britannica.
On the board it behaves like Pax Britannica. Yes.
Entonces es un
But more simplified.
Juego. A mí me está encantando.
Okay, qué bueno. Let me see if I can capture some of the detail for the people here.
Comparto la opinión del compañero británico.
Oye, ¿tienen un acuerdo en algo por lo menos?
Sí. Y ahora yo voy a grabar también un poquito de
So here you see los espacios se llaman que áreas.
Son colonias realmente.
Okay, there are colonies there, and you have them in different color. You see the
Entonces,
Congo in green.
Un cubito
Sí.
es una, digamos, influencia
Okay,
o intereses en el sitio.
one cube reflects the
Y los
interest
discos ya son colonias
of a
puestas,
power.
para lo cual has luchado.
The discs are now colonies made. So you start with cubitos, you start with interest, and then you
Yes.
build up to colony.
Entonces hay diferentes acciones que te sirven para poner intereses y luego luchar contra la resistencia de cada una de las colonias
Okay,
para establecer una colonia. Entre jugadores nunca se pueden, no hay ataques, no hay guerras.
No pelean entre the players don't fight directly against each other.
Eso
They're
es.
building their empires.
Sino que ganan mayorías en las zonas navales o en las zonas de África.
You try to establish a majority in naval zones to have like naval dominion, or in land zones like here in Africa,
Eso
which
es.
is
Y hay un sistema por el cual el belicismo va aumentando, la paz en Europa va bajando y cuando se cruzan,
you have a track there where you measure the state for war versus peace there.
yes, y el belicismo de los países, y cuando se cruzan
And
las potencias europeas
Okay.
con la paz, entonces estalla la Primera Guerra Mundial y finaliza el juego.
okay, so when the peace marker is in the same spot as the war marker, then that signifies the beginning of the First World War. So it goes up to 1914.
Efectivamente.
Okay, great. ¿Y cuántos jugadores juegan esto?
4.
4-player game. Imagino que es mejor con 4 que con 2 o con menos.
No, es que con 2 no se puede
No se
jugar.
puede.
Carlos dijo que solo pueden jugar o 3 o 4.
Okay, so it is strictly a 3 or 4-player game, and of course, 4 sounds better than 3 if you're going to play it. But it looks very, very interesting. A very nice implementation of Britannia and the other game, the GMT game. And that's the way designers do games. You know, you borrow things from other games and you try to improve upon the previous design. So this is.
It's everything invented. Stuka?
Huh?
It's everything invented.
Yeah, no, not really. But the thing is, you can get, if you're interested in supporting this game, you can go to NAC Wargames. They have a P500 and you can sign up.
Yeah.
This is Imperial Struggle. So Eduardo, thank you very much for the explanation.
Thank you very much.
And
for
enjoy.
you, Joe.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hasta luego.
Okay, bueno. And here, this is a game that we saw yesterday. This is Europa Universalis. Being played here, I think it's a 6-player game. So they're being added there. You can see it's a very colorful game. You have a lot of wooden pieces. Saludos. Este es el mismo juego que estaban jugando ayer.
Europa Universalis, mismos países también.
Los mismos países. Ok. ¿Y quién va ganando?
Por el momento estamos en primeras fases.
Ah, okay. They're still
Estamos posicionando.
okay, they're still positioning, and the blood is going to start flowing soon, but not yet. Okay, so this is Europa Universalis. Very nicely produced game. I mean, this is a computer game that has been implemented at the board game level. Not all games can do that. And this is here, Asturias 3637, designed by Pedro Iñaki Martinez, who you see here. Okay, Farshad, the games, NAC War Games. ¿Cómo está Pedro Iñaki? Muy bien. NAC War Games are available. They have a page where you can purchase a game in the States or in Canada. So at this moment I can't put the link, but you can Google NAC War Games, United States, Canada, and maybe that will appear. And you can purchase them because they have a way of selling to customers in the United States and Canada. Right now they've published 3 games, but they have many in their queue, and they're coming up with El Rey del Norte, which is the other Carlist war game, and also they're coming up with the other side of the hill, which is the German High Command game, World War II. Those are the next 2 in, I think, April and May, something like that. And here we see Malvinas 1982. Malvinas, sí, yo lo sé.
Son
¿Dónde está la?
Malvinas. So you have here.
Ah, ¿tiene eso aquí?
You have here the British player. He's playing tested. 1982 Malvinas. I remember this game, and this is Chema Randos' game. How you doing? And we have here the Argentinians. Congratulations on the World Cup.
Yes, we are winning.
Okay, you're winning also. Oh, but congratulations in Malvinas. And here you don't need la mano de Dios. Here, so. So finally, you have a game on the Falkland Islands that you can play the Argentines, and they're not artificial intelligence. So that's always good.
Not sure. We have a submarine attack ongoing.
Okay, wow.
We are now doing a submarine attack.
Submarine attack, the British.
With nuclear submarine
Oh,
on the British side.
that's not fair. Come on, man.
It is,
Okay.
it is.
Pues tiramos el dado, ellos tienen dos unidades,
So they're attacking
¿vale?
with submarines. The British are venturing their submarines, so things must be going bad for them.
Como vais a modificadores cero, no tiene
Okay, so what games have I seen that I don't? Well, I've seen a lot of games that are play tested, which I don't have. Most of these games you're seeing here at NAC are games that haven't come out yet. I have von Manstein's Triumph, which was their latest release, and here we have the Badajoz 1936, which is a hex and counter game, but it has some very interesting twists. It uses the untried unit system pioneered in Panzer Group Guderian, but it also has a variable victory point schedule because the nationalists have to advance through this area in Extremadura and Andalusia. They're on their way to Madrid, and they have to capture certain cities at certain points because they're worth victory points. And if you take too long to capture the city's worth less victory points. Eso todavía así. Yes. And we have here the designer, Jesus. So later on, I want to talk to you about the game to see how it's developed from last year. It's a very interesting design. It has some aspects where, as to victory points, you have to capture certain victory point areas on schedule. If you take too long as a nationalist, they're worth less. And if they're worth less, then you have to venture into spreading your forces like to Badajoz to get victory points, which is kind of dangerous.
Several changes.
Yeah, you made some changes.
The advantage is the same, the historical movement was the same.
Yes.
But the combat was reduced at the step loss, for example.
Yes.
The control from the unit is more flexible
Okay.
nowadays. Because in the past, you remember, you need a HQ to move the unit, remember?
An HQ, yes.
Nowadays, you can activate the unit directly.
You can activate it directly.
The color associate is
Okay.
in the cheat. The cheat is on the map. You can activate all the units. You don't need the HQ on the map.
Okay, you activate them by color in the. You use cards for that, or you use the cards or cheats for that?
You can use the card or you can use the cheat.
The cheats.
It
Okay.
depends the player.
Okay.
The card have more information.
Yes.
You can read directly the event.
Okay. Cool.
Otherwise, in the cheat you have to read the event in the rules.
Okay.
So the card is more flexible. It's more.
It has more information, of course. Yes. Okay. So that's one of the changes from last year. So the way you activate the units, either via chits or the cards, you activate them by color. And the color is going to be, each color is a different formation, right? Different formation. Okay.
Another change.
But you still have these untried units that I see here. Those are the Republicans with a question mark. That's like from Panzer Group Guderian. They started that. And it's really interesting because you don't know, does the Republican player know what's in there too, or he doesn't know either?
Nobody now. Who?
Nobody, not even the Republican player. So it can, and sometimes it's a nothing, right? It's a nothing burger. You flip it and there's nothing there.
You flip the corner when the unit is adjacent to the...
It's adjacent. And it's a nice way of showing the problems the Republican side had, having all sorts of political factions fighting together, so there's no coordination. So you don't even know what you have. I mean, you're going to have Republican units, like those that you see there in Mérida, but you have these other types, which is who knows what. So that's a way of reflecting the chaos on the Republican side without having to read 20 pages of rules.
Another important change is that the last cheat is no user.
It's a chit pool game, but the last chit is never pulled, so there's no guarantee that the chit that you want is going to be pulled. You may have to wait for the next turn. So it's great, and I'll see if I can come back and interview you today, if you have a chance, Jesus.
Tell me.
Okay? No, if I can interview you later today when cuando estés desocupado. Okay, we can do. Okay. Great to see you. Okay, gracias. So that's Badajoz 36-37. Here you have the other side of the hill being played by 4 players. That's the game that NAC Wargames is going to publish. Okay, the process is a bit confusing. Okay, it only shows the Spanish version. I know they're going to publish an English version. So I guess they have to update their website for that. But you can write them an email also. See if there's a way that you can specify anywhere the English version. So, and here is the other side of the hill. This is the other car list war game that uses the mechanics that you find in Sekigahara. This one is going to be published by NAC in May. Here we have the box. Very nice. It's a game designed by Jose Rivero. He also designed the Granada game that Compass published, also based on Sekigahara. And here you see the unit set up, and you see them set up in this vertical array there of units. And you see the little towns and the different kind of roads. So this one is coming up. This is going to be published. You have that being explained there. Here we have a game, Map of Spain, Popular Front, being played. There's a Spanish Civil War game, Popular Front there. And we have the Brotherhood and Unity table is still going on. And yesterday the Bosniaks won. After they were almost done, they won the game somehow. It's a 3-player card-driven game. Here we have the area where NAC is selling its games. So that's the walk around the tables. We've been at it for an hour and 3 minutes. You're getting shape because this rig that I'm holding is pretty heavy, so it's some healthy exercise. Walk around the tables. And this is what's going on in the morning, Saturday morning, here at the Bellota Con.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Tú eres?
Stuka Joe.
Stuka Joe.
Sí. Estamos en vivo, estamos grabando.
Tus
Sí.
vídeos son muy buenos.
Ah, pues gracias, muchas gracias, es un placer.
Los sigo y los que veo los comentarios sobre los juegos me gustan mucho.
Ah, pues me alegro que les guste.
Siempre es bueno decírselo
Pues,
de cara.
pues lo aprecio un
No solo
montón.
darte unas gracias.
Ok, muchas
¿Vale?
gracias.
Muchas
Fernando, gracias.
Hasta luego.
Un placer. Okay, so we got 2 fans of the channel, great. And we have the King in the North. The map is beautiful. The components are very well done. And the game also uses cards. So this is, see if I can rotate a little bit here. It is, let's see what time is it here in Badajoz. It is 12:13. Okay. So That's
How you
good.
doing?
I'm finishing the live stream, so that is going to be all for now, folks. I'll be later on with another video
Yeah.
this afternoon. So don't get enganchar ahora. So see you later, and I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by. Here I have next to me, if you are a YouTuber and a wargamer, here is Mauro Faina from Italy.
Hi guys.
So Mauro is here for the first time at the Bellota Con?
Yes, my first time in Spain, yeah.
And how?
Or better, not from in Badajoz.
In Badajoz.
Well, a so far place.
Okay, so how?
Away also from Madrid, from Barcelona, Badajoz. Anyway, it's a sort of city that is demonstrating the economical growth in Spain.
Yes, this is.
If you notice,
there's a lot of development going around in Badajoz.
Yeah,
yes, there was a plan for some reason. I was talking to a taxi driver. Badajoz needed a train going through Badajoz.
Yeah.
And they had plans, and it somehow got paralyzed. It was going to be a fast train AVE from Madrid to Lisbon going through Badajoz, and that would bring a lot of progress to Badajoz. Sadly, that's been stopped, but I hope that they could complete that, because then it's really easy. You get to Madrid, just hop on a train, and in 1 hour you're here.
Well, my flight got to Lisbon airport, and I rented a car to get here.
Okay. It takes like 2 hours, right?
2 hours, yes,
2 hour
50
drive.
minutes about.
So it's either a 2 hour drive from Lisbon, or if you're at Madrid, you
crossing the nowhere, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're crossing the Portuguese countryside. Or you can go to Madrid and you can take a plane, and the plane is it's 50 minutes to Badajoz. So it's not as accessible as other Spanish cities like Seville, Barcelona, but I hope there's a lot of development, and I hope that they can complete that speed railway track here, because it's wonderful. The people are wonderful. You come to Badajoz, you can visit Portugal. Portugal is also very beautiful.
In fact, it's really weird, bizarre that 370 players are here in Badajoz to play board games. It's really weird, you know?
It's a pretty large concentration of people for Badajoz. And then when you see this facility, we're in Pavilion A, which comfortably holds these 300 plus 50 people. And if this keeps on growing, they have Pavilion B, which is 1.5 times larger than this one, just right there. And you have food right next door, right here. You don't have to go out to eat. So if you're playing a long, intense game, you take a break, eat.
In the surroundings, there is a very good mall.
Oh yeah,
so
there's
you find everything you need.
Oh, there's a great place. I mean, if you go into Badajoz, there's great places to eat, but you have all the facilities here.
Yeah. Also, my wife is there at the moment.
Okay, so
she was very interested in this convention.
She's burning your euros. You won't be able to purchase a lot of games. She's shopping, so you won't be able to purchase some games there. No, but kidding aside, it's a great venue. The organization is solid. The people are very friendly here in Badajoz. And now we're having more people. It used to be just Spanish people. And Volco came in the second year. I came in the second year. But now we have 3 companies from France. We have a company from Germany. We have Mauro from Italy. And
publishing. Yeah.
And maybe we'll have next year, who knows, an Italian war game company that can come here and also show its games. Because the great thing about Europe is that they're very open-minded as to game mechanics. It's not just hex and counters. They do hex and counters. You saw Badajoz.
I'm made of hexes and counters.
And we all love hex and counters. Sometimes your body asks, I need to play hexes and counters. That's like the system that you can trust, right? But there's all the other ways of showing a conflict. And you see that innovation coming here. You see that influx of Eurogaming with wargaming, and the combination and the games that are being produced are wonderful. You have large games, small games, you have solitaire games too, you have multiplayer games. So and then with NAC, for example, Spain has such a rich history. They're doing Spanish games that you never knew about. And,
that's true. Absolutely.
And games related to Spain, like games that happen like in Latin America, like the War of the Triple Alliance. You probably never knew that was almost simultaneous with the American Civil War. It was a really bloody conflict, which you wouldn't learn about unless you play a game like the Triple Alliance. And so you have a lot of different kind of designs, very talented people here in Europe making war games. The graphic artists, you saw later, Niels Johansson with Ivan Cáceres. So I wanted to go to those guys and say, listen, give some other people a chance to do graphic design, guys. You're cornering the market. But no, I'm just kidding. These guys are just wonderful. The artwork is I mean, you don't want to play an ugly game, right? Yeah, you want to play a beautiful game, but you also want to play a good game. If the game's beautiful, it's not enough, but it keeps you engaged if the game is really nice. So I'm glad that you're here, and hope that you come next year also.
I think yes.
And I hope you can bring your Italian countrymen here, designers and company people.
But just yesterday I noticed a fact. In my opinion, my very, very humble opinion, at the moment, this Spanish community, and also what we find behind the small companies in every case, but they are better organized than the Italian ones.
Okay.
In my opinion now, you know. So, for example, you have the NIC War Games.
NAC, yes.
Well, please don't consider WUKA Games that is German or Nazi is French. But, for example, NAC War Games, then we have Do It War Games.
Do It.
Well, that is are really different from the traditional war games. But in this case, at the moment, they are better organized than the Italian companies, I think.
Okay.
And I don't have many hopes about next year. Well, I'm a simple war gamer, you know, a wargamero.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that the small Italian companies will be able to attend this convention.
Okay.
Maybe. Well, we'll try to convince
look,
them.
you only need one to come.
Yeah.
And then they'll spread the word.
Yeah.
The company comes, their sales go up 200%, and the rest is the rest does itself, right? That's the way, because most of you in the United States, you didn't know about NAC War Games, you didn't know about a lot of these companies, and then what happens? You start buying games. First, you start buying games from Europe, and you're paying premium dollars, but then these companies find a way of selling their games in the United States directly to customers there, so they are more affordable. So that's the whole point. But for that to happen, you have to learn about the games first.
You know, Joe, we have also to underline the quality
of
these war games.
Yes.
You know? Generally, well, we can have war games of low quality. Why? Because you don't have money to produce a large quantity. On the contrary, they are demonstrating that they have good war games and good quality.
Yes, they emphasize in quality, and they make sure the game doesn't come out before time, right? Because you don't want to have to subscribe to the errata cycle every year. Let's see what's up with the game. So they take their time, but they have the P500, so they also listen to the input of the gamers to see what are the gamers interested in. So they have that nice blend that GMT has also. So they have more or less the same formula. And of course that ensures quality, and they have a secret weapon, which is Carlos Diaz Narvaez. All the games have to pass through him. He's the guy who, he tells them, no, you gotta change this, you gotta change that to the designers, gives the bad news, but you need somebody like that, a third set of eyes to look at what's coming in order to ensure quality control, which I was speaking to the people of NAC War Games yesterday, and that's what they're emphasizing. And you don't want to play a bad game. You want to play a good game. So they're now you can purchase their games in the United States, NAC War Games. They have a website, and now they're coming up with 2 games, April and May, which is The Other Side of the Hill, which is a fascinating game about the German High Command, 4-player game. And they have the King in the North, which is based on Sekigahara, the system, but it's the Carlist War that I knew nothing about until I came to the Bellota. The Carlist War is another Spanish civil war that happened in the 19th century. Fascinating. And then the thing in Spain, here at the Bellota, you have 2 games on the Carlist War. You have that one, and Bélica Third Generation is coming with a game by David Gómez Reyoso, An Impossible War. So it gives you an idea of the richness of the topics that these companies are taking advantage of. This history of Spain. Remember, Spain was the #1 power for many, many, many years. And then afterwards, they were involved in many, many, many wars. So that means many, many, many war games can be done.
That's true.
So,
and please don't forget that David Rosso well created the famous Crusade
and Revolution,
you know, based
yes.
on the Paths of Glory mechanics. And he play tested. He has play tested that for 10 years.
When
he took a great care of his board
That's
games.
right. When you see the credits there, the play testers, it's like half of Spain play tested the game. So before it came out, it's a solid game. It's a classic CDG. It's based on Paths of Glory, and I like more Crusade and Revolution than Paths of Glory. That's the way it is, you know.
Disagree, but
you're a Paths of Glory fan. I know. Okay, and Paths of Glory is a tremendous
I've been playing
game.
that for 20 more.
No,
20
it's
years,
a classic.
You know?
I think it's the most printed CDG by GMT. They're going. Next edition is going to be like the 5th edition.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot about a CDG. You know, when it's getting printed 4 or 5 times. So, Mauro, I want to thank you for joining me here, and it's great to have you. We're going to be here the rest of the day and tomorrow. So.
Well, unfortunately, tomorrow my flight is leaving in the early morning.
Early morning.
So
okay, so you're
this
going to be. This is
day
your last
today,
day.
yeah,
Okay, but I
I'm
hope to see you next year. And I hope to see you sometime if I have a chance to visit Italy and attend one of those Italian war conventions.
Stuka is the next.
Okay,
welcome and important guest next year. I hope.
I hope too.
As
yes.
regards Modena exhibition, and also I hope as regards San Marino. But
well, we'll see. I mean, it's just have to go for the first time, and everything will follow. So that's I appreciate
our media partner.
Okay.
You will be our media partner.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks, Mauro.
Thank you, Joe.
So I'm going to leave you guys and take care, guys. This is Stuka Joe signing off for now, and thanks for watching.